Welcome back. For 40 plus years, Mercy Corps has been helping communities in crisis across the globe. Now the Portland-based humanitarian aid organization is ushering in a new chapter with an evolving mission and with a new name. Joining us today to talk about the organization's future, Mary Stata, Chief Development Officer for Mercy Corps. Stata leads Mercy Corps' global communications, marketing, and fundraising efforts. She joined Mercy Corps in 2017, bringing nearly 2 decades of experience spanning policy, philanthropy, and fundraising. Mary, thanks so much for being with us here on Straight Talk today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, on a big day too. And so the first question is a pretty obvious one. You know, we've known you all these years as Mercy Corps and connect that to the important work that you do. But that name is changing. Tell us what the new name is and when people will start to see it formally.
Sure. So our new name is Prosper Global. And we are going to be switching over to that name in the fall. But today we are announcing that this is going to be our new name moving forward.
Why was Prosper Global chosen? I know you did a lot of work to decide on this. What are the reasons, though, and kind of break it down for us?
Sure. Well, we are so proud of the work that we have done as Mercy Corps for the past 4+ decades. Work in crisis zones all around the world. And also we, over the past 10 years, have really identified that our name was really increasingly at odds with our values, with how we were working in the world. And we're really keen to make sure that our identity and that our name is aligned with our purpose, who we are, what we do, for what we're doing now as well as into the future.
Can you describe for me what was the problem with Mercy Corps in that regard, and then how does this name kind of fix that?
Sure. So there were a number of challenges with the name Mercy Corps. We are a global organization with proud roots here in Portland, but also the name Mercy Corps is difficult to translate into lots of languages. It has had militaristic connotations, which has been challenging in different parts of the world where we work. We're not a faith-based organization. We believe that our values are universal, but the name has religious connotations. So there were a number of reasons why we felt like the name was increasingly not representing who we are.
Yeah, and Prosper Global opens it up, makes
Absolutely.
it more inclusive, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Prosper Global really speaks to our deeply held belief that we believe that every community, no matter where you live in the world, the circumstances you were born into, everyone deserves the opportunity to prosper.
Yeah. And while you were talking about that, we get to see a little bit of the logo. It's a whole different look, a whole different design than what we've been used to for so long. And that's, again, not official till September, but we're getting a look at it as we break this news today that this is happening. So Mercy Corps was founded here in Portland, still headquartered here, but your reach is across the globe. Why is Portland still a good place to be based for? And I'm still calling it Mercy Corps for now. Is that appropriate?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Why Portland still?
Sure. Well, again, we have a significant amount of supporters here in the Northwest. And we also know that the mission of our work clearly resonates with a lot of Portlanders who care deeply about what happens around the world and who believe that every person should be able to have the future that they want and that they deserve. And so those connections remain really important for us as an organization, but also increasingly being global in scope and, again, having a name that really can resonate very broadly as well.
As the need and the work grows, do the supporters grow as well? How's that going in terms of raising funds and to do the work that you do?
Sure, yeah. Well, we are absolutely living in a time of increased humanitarian need. There are over 300 million people in the world right now in urgent need of humanitarian assistance. And that number has more than doubled over the past 5 years. And it is incumbent upon us, we believe, as a global community to be ensuring that there are resources available for those in greatest need. And again, we're living in a world that is increasingly hotter, more divided, and one where our mission remains highly relevant. Certainly,
and that is a startling statistic to hear that we're at 300 million of those in need, doubling in the past
5 years.
Wow, that's really something. How has the humanitarian work changed? I know the evolution includes kind of really working on long-term solutions, not that you're not already doing that, but in terms of infrastructure and helping communities prosper for themselves in the end.
Sure. Well, Mercy Corps has always been committed to helping communities not only in the midst of immediate crisis, but also the day after. We stay. We are committed to ensuring that communities have access to what they need in the short, medium, and long term. And again, we have also been evolving our approach over the past years in particular, where we're increasingly acting as a partner and working through local partnerships. So rather than Mercy Corps directly implementing work, we are working with local partners who are close to the ground, who have those close relationships, and who can act very quickly.
Can you talk a little bit about the need out there in specific areas? I know you guys have been in Ukraine these years, and that's been a challenge. I did a story several years ago when that was first getting going. Where does that one stand?
Sure. Ukraine remains a really important crisis that we are committed to continuing to respond to as an organization. And we're doing so by equipping farmers to ensure that they can continue to be producing food in the midst of this war, as well as ensuring that small businesses can have access to the resources they need to be able to remain economic engines for these local communities.
And now past the 4-year mark with that war.
Yes.
Of course, Mercy Corps works to help people in countries facing conflict like that. And right now, the Middle East is really facing a lot of it, from Iran to Lebanon. Mercy Corps has joined more than a dozen other NGOs saying the fighting must stop. Tell us more about that message you put out earlier this month and what Mercy Corps is doing to help those affected in the Middle East right now.
Yeah, what's happening in the Middle East is it's absolutely an unfolding humanitarian crisis. And we are active in southern Lebanon at the moment, working with a local partner who is delivering hot meals to families who have been displaced by the violence and by the fighting. What we're also starting to see is the effects of this crisis go beyond the Middle East into Sudan, into Somalia. These are also countries that are being impacted by increased fuel prices, by scarcity for food. And this is now what we're really seeing as like the next impact of what's already impacting communities in Lebanon very directly, but there's definitely a broader ripple effect at play as well.
Yeah, because a global economic crisis like this affects people most in need in terms of being able to grow their crops, so the lack of fertilizer, not getting through those types of things. What about some of the other countries? Are you involved in any other countries, Iraq or any of the others that are in that general area?
We have had a presence in Iraq, and we are absolutely positioning for responding as the crisis continues to unfold.
Yeah. Talk about the scope of Mercy Corps, soon to be Prosper Global. How many people are involved in the organization, and what's the reach? Kind of give us the breakdown.
Sure, yeah. Well, we have about 3,500 staff globally, working in over 35 countries around the world, everywhere from the places we just discussed to also Colombia, Haiti, Indonesia. So it really is a very global team with a global footprint. The majority of our team members come from the countries where they work. So it's a diverse group for sure.
It seems obvious, but why is it so important to have people from the countries affected that are working with Mercy Corps to do the work?
It's essential to being effective. These are team members who are not only deeply committed to this work because this is where they're from, these are their communities, it's deeply personal for them, but also they speak the language, they have the relationships, they know how to be navigating these circumstances. And so having staff who are representative of where we work is essential to our impact as an organization.
Where are the biggest changes that you see that the work that you're doing? Is it in the infrastructure area, or where do you see the change happening?
There has been a significant amount of change over the past year as funding from the U.S. government dramatically decreased just over a year ago. And that has absolutely caused a significant crisis in the humanitarian system. The U.S. government used to be the primary provider globally of U.S. humanitarian assistance, and that changed very dramatically a year ago. And so that means that as the needs are growing, which we just discussed, that the resources overall have been decreasing.
So Mercy Corps for now, Prosper Global, starting in September. What do you see as the future of the organization going forward, this organization that we're so proud of to have here based in Portland?
Yeah. We are optimistic about the future. And again, we see this evolution into this new identity really signaling a bold step forward for us as an organization, where again, we are leading with this conviction that we believe when every community can prosper, everyone moves forward. Yeah. It benefits everyone. And I think what we also see into the future is, again, ongoing significant need for our mission. The crises aren't decreasing. They've only been increasing. The need is increasing. And so the relevance of our work remains stronger than ever.
Wow. Do you have hope that the U.S. government will get more involved in the future and come back to helping in these ways?
There's absolutely a need for us to be increasing the amount of resources available for this work.
Yeah. Mary Stata with Mercy Corps, thank you so much for joining us and talking about the name change to Prosper Global coming up this fall. Really exciting. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you so much for joining us today. A reminder, you can stream Straight Talk on your own schedule. Just download the free TV app, KGW Plus, available now on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. And we will see you back here on Straight Talk next week.